It's fair to say that the 2024 edition of the Indian Premier League was a season of two halves for the Royal Challengers Bangalore. Having won just one of their first 8 fixtures, they ended up actually making it all the way to the playoffs thanks in no small part to a rather, let's say, inspirational run of games wherein they managed to win 6 out of 6 on the trot and trump a CSK side that could very well have taken away their playoffs qualification even at the very last step. However, the fairy tale run to the playoffs was not to extend to a maiden title, as they ended up losing out in the eliminator to the Rajasthan Royals itself. But keeping all of that in mind, it's worth noting that they did prove at the very least that if things come together, then perhaps there is every chance that RCB can very well be serious title contenders. But now, to do that, come 2025, they might have to be building a whole new squad, because again, that's going to be the reality that faces every single team, given it is the year of a mega auction. So what exactly can RCB's mega auction strategy be? Well, their head coach Andy Flower did end up having a bit of a discussion with the media on it, and whilst he was reticent to reveal too many details, and we'll get to that part in a bit, he did let slip one rather interesting, juicy tidbit about who exactly it is they could be targeting. And bear in mind when I say he's not named any specific player here, but is looking for a certain kind of player who, in theory, all teams would want, but it would be very, very tough to get. Why do I say that? Well, because he said that I do think the M. Chinnaswamy Stadium, which is of course Bangalore's home ground, has some qualities we need to exploit. You need highly skillful bowlers. Just pace is not the answer. Just pace is not the answer. Now that is a pretty damning statement when you consider that this was the auction in which RCB went after 2 bowlers who really are all about pace. There was an Alzarri Joseph and there was Lockie Ferguson. Now Lockie, to his credit, a street smart bowler, can more often than not change up his variations. He can sometimes go with Yorkers, he can sometimes bowl the hard lengths, he will sometimes go for slow balls. Alzarri was a little bit more one note and as a result was very much down, kind of backing up the point which Andy Flower says that just pace is not necessarily the answer. But he's right in saying that they do need skillful bowlers over there. If you look at the list of bowlers who've had consistent degrees of success in Bangalore, it's not a very long list admittedly, but one player who definitely did have a fair bit of success early on in his career was of course Yuzvendra Chahal. And what exactly is Chahal? Well, he is what you'd call a highly skillful bowler, wrist spinner, someone who could use variations and armed with a multitude of tricks could manage to extract good wickets even out of an RCB pitch that, truth be told, definitely favored the batter. So he's right in saying, listen, we need experienced bowlers, but it's very easy to say that. Do they have any names in mind? That perhaps was one place where Andy Flower absolutely pumped the brakes, because he said that, look, as far as recruitment for next year, it's a bit too early to be talking about that. Quite frankly, I don't want to talk about that yet. And you know what? I understand his point. He may have certain players in mind, but whether or not those players are going to be available, and if they're available, will RCB be able to go out there and get them? That's a whole different argument for another different time. Yes, they will very well have certain targets in mind, but again, there's no guarantee that A, those targets will be available, or B, they'll be able to get them even if they are. The auction, especially a mega auction, is a tricky, funny business, and more often than not, things may not always go your way when it comes to recruitment, when it comes to signing certain players, because again, all teams have a similar budget purse. They'll only be able to retain an X number of players. The rest of them are looking to very much build their squads from scratch. But do you agree with his assessment that RCB definitely need more skillful bowlers? It's something I definitely agree with, because again, I think over the years they've become a very batting friendly or batting centric side, and too often they haven't focused enough on their bowling or bolstering their bowling ranks. What do you guys think? You can let us know that in the comments below, and don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel, tap that bell icon, follow us on social media. We're on Instagram, Twitter and Facebook. Don't forget to download the SportsTak app, and if you're already on the channel, go ahead, check out some other videos we've done as well. For now, from my side, it is goodbye.